Well, g'day there everyone, Uncle Jojo here, great to see you all again. Today we're having a bit of a look at some decking and the subfloor frame for a decking that's going to be close to the ground. I've been asked a question by Matt, thanks Matt. He's an apprentice, he wants to know about how close he can get his deck to the ground. He was talking about putting timber straight against the ground, like a 90 by 90 or a 115 by 115 laid on the ground. He'd seen it done before, and then the decking laid on top of that. The problem with that is there's no ventilation to get underneath, firstly, and secondly, the moisture will run up the timber that's laid on the floor and then get into the decking boards, and then the decking boards will buckle, warp and bow. Last thing that we want to do, good timber for decking needs to be seasoned properly, which means that all of the moisture up to 15 to 20% is taken out of the timber. So timber won't get rid of all of its moisture, but it'll get rid of most of it. We want to make sure that that stays that way and we get rid of that moisture for the length that we can. It helps with performance and it helps with stability. So I've got here, luckily enough, just for you, Matt, is a deck that we've got, and we've got to try and keep it as close to the ground as we can. So step this way and check it out. Our deck over here wants to run into this timber work just here. See that there? So if our deck wants to run into here and the soil was here, we had to dig. The soil was there, so we had to dig all of this out. So everything through here has been dug out, and I can show you, we've done a mini retaining wall just here, if you will, and we've dug it out, give or take, probably 150 to 200 mil. You can see all of the soil that we've removed over there. What this helps with is airflow all the way through, consistent airflow all the way through. We've even removed a little bit more soil over here. We've got a stormwater pipe. Make sure when you're digging you don't hit any of the, like there's a gas there as well. Make sure you don't hit any of those. Make sure when you put your timbers against any masonry, there's a malfoid or a seal between the two, so no moisture goes in between the timber and doesn't run up into the timber as well. You'll see we've got malfoid here as well, and on the steel, it stops it coming up and through. The reason that we have this gap is for airflow throughout. We want to make sure that we've got consistent airflow under all of that. And we want to make sure that the timbers that we use are the right timbers to span the distance that they have. Here, we've also triple gripped and joist hanger on all of the ends of them as well. And we've screwed through, batten screws through as well on the ends. It's very important that we get good airflow consistently all the way through underneath the deck. It stops any moisture coming up and into the deck and creating bows and warps, especially if you're using a wide board like a 140 by 19. A lot of decking boards now are getting quite wide, so you get a 140, a 190, even a 2 or a 250. If you do timbers like that, you need to make sure that you've got good ventilation. If you don't have good ventilation and it's not screwed down, it has to be screwed down, but if it's not screwed down, it'll bow and warp and pop and all sorts of things. So make sure you screw your deck down and make sure you've got good ventilation. I hope that answers all of your questions, Matt. If you've got any other questions or queries about ventilation and doing a deck, please don't put a deck on the floor. Whatever you do, make sure you get it up. A little bit of extra work in digging it out. It took me another day and a half with two of us here. It'll be a much better finish, and longevity of the deck will last for a lifetime. So thanks for watching, stay tuned, and hopefully I can help you out in the future with some more helpful handy hints. See you later.